Scorpio, how is everybody doing? Spirit is having us jump on specifically for you guys. Before we get into the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. It looks like there may be some upcoming, like maybe difficult choices that you're making. This can be stuff that maybe you'd like rather not deal with, but it's becoming apparent that something is going to need to be done. But it may be like the less enjoyable end of something that you're doing right now. But once it's taken care of, it means you're not going to have to deal with it, whatever this is. For anyone curious, I do have a bit of Scorpio in my chart. I have Pluto conjunct my ascendant. My north node is also in Scorpio. There may be some very specific guidance that you are receiving right now. Very, very specific. Maybe even feeling in a way like you have a direct line. It seems like it's helping you maneuver through something. I'm even getting a channeling type of energy here. You may have a spirit guide specifically that you're speaking about channeling. You may have a spirit guide specifically that you're working with right now. I'm seeing a particular figure. I'm hearing within your sphere, maybe within your auric field. So right now, it looks like there's a really big emphasis to have Mercury showing up with the Magician here next to the King of Cups, next to the Hierophant. What it looks like to me is that right now your thoughts are extremely powerful, and even in ways that you may not realize, you are planting seeds, you are manifesting, and so you want to make sure that you have a sense of control and awareness over like where your mind is going, the direction that you're taking things in. The more grounded you are, the more conscientious you are, the more you are going to be like the author of what it is that's going on here. Because I'm seeing like something could even, if you don't stay on top of something, it may even expand in a direction that maybe you wouldn't particularly want, and that's why it seems very important that you are even like using your discernment when it comes to like what you're involving yourself in, what you're allowing to like immerse itself within your energy, like what you're allowing your energy to integrate with as well. This even looks like a notion of focusing on staying in your lane, because what it looks like to me, Scorpio, is that there's some like really important work that you're doing, there are important messages that you're getting, and it even seems like something that like you could be translating specifically, like either for yourself or for other people. For some of you, like you may even have some sort of platform, you may be some sort of creator with the Magician here. And the more grounded you are, the more clearly the messages are going to be coming through for you. So things are not lost in translation. So I'm seeing that be like the emphasis on you grounding. Because it's almost like I'm seeing the example of a notion of like somebody receiving messages and needing to translate it, like write it down in a way that maybe other people will be able to understand. And so the importance of being grounded and like dropping any sense of ego and like not having an agenda except for it to be in alignment, that is going to like even be a purification process for what it is that you're creating and also even producing, I'm hearing. Interesting, Scorpio. Yeah, for some of you it feels like this could be like business related. Maybe it's something you're doing for your career. It could be something that you're doing connected with entrepreneurship. Yeah, to have like Mercury and Uranus together too. Uranus is a very innovative energy. It's very creative. It's like this trend setting. Like, it's not about you sticking within a lane. It's about like you creating that lane. It's about you creating the drive. And to have Mercury and Uranus together, like side by side with one another, this feels very much like some sort of conjunction that's happening. And so this is about Mercury is like spreading information and communicating in the throat chakra and how we are processing information, and to have it next to Uranus, it's like doing things in a very like creative and innovative way, like you coming up with things. It's a very inventive energy as well, and it even seems like something connected to like your thought process, and you may be thinking differently than other people around you, or maybe nobody's done this before and you want to do it in a way like not with the aim of being different, but it's innately in itself maybe different than other stuff that's out there right now. I'm hearing never before seen. So whatever it is that you're connecting with, it feels like it even has its own power source in and of itself. Yeah, so much creative energy, Scorpio, so much. This may even be a moment where you feel in a way like this is your purpose to be exploring as well. Natural talents. This may be something that you're working on tapping into, something that you're newly tapping into, something even that you're tapping into in a different way than you had in the past. And maybe this is also about you trying something new and exploring in a different way, because I'm seeing even something that you may be aware of that you possess, but maybe you hadn't tried things in this way before. Like maybe you hadn't expressed things in this way before. Maybe you hadn't used like this particular combination when it comes to like how you're sharing something, how you're expressing something, the foundation upon which you are creating. It even seems like you may have had some sort of inspiration that came from a particular source, and the more grounded you were and the more you tapped into this and expressed it, it's something that you even feel now is like yours. I'm seeing this notion of you co-creating with spirit, with your spirit guides, and you very much being at the head of this. I'm hearing the till. Maybe like a ship. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm seeing it be like you get all of this information and it's kind of like these fragmented pieces or like jumbled in some sort of way. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with that? But like the more grounded you are, the more you're like able to organize what this is. And I'm seeing it be like downloads and stuff that you're receiving, things along the lines of that. And maybe even initially when you receive it, you're like, look at all of this, because there's such a notion of chaos here and like this explosion of the feminine energy. So when we step into that masculine grounded energy, there's a notion of being able to like take the chaos and be able to organize it. And all of us have masculine and feminine. It's not connected nor related with gender. Or lack thereof. Chaos, confusion, overflow. This is even like that moment of inspiration when you feel like your ideas are all over the place, like that brainstorming type of energy. Then it's like, how do we organize it? What do we do with it? How do we implement that? How do we make it into something cohesive even? How do we make this make sense? How do we translate it? How do we transmute it? How do we alchemize the energy? I'm seeing something that takes time. As I said before, I'm seeing there be a big emphasis on grounding energy. And it looks like this combination that's happening of both your water and your fire. So this is the notion of receiving receptive energy and then what we're going to do with that. Feeling intuitively, like receiving downloads, perking up your antennas, and then receiving the information and kind of having some sort of output here with it. Even so, like, you can make it cohesive in a way where you get like the goal or the product of what it is that you're creating. I'm seeing something here that takes time, something that like you have to work to do this. You may even have multiple people or multiple aspects of yourself that you bring in on this. Because with the King of Wands, although the King of Wands is capable of doing things themselves, there's a notion here of being in some sort of leadership role and also having people that help you. So whether this be like your spiritual team or this be people around you, or you like referencing with other people or collaborating with other people, there's a notion here of like working with a few different moving parts and getting them all on the same page with one another to produce something cohesive. Even rounding it up so you can present it. Interesting, we're ending with 2 aces here and another ace. I'm looking at the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords here. So something that had been like even mismatched or just like very chaotic or disorganized before, there's a notion here of like using this in a way that feels productive, but needing to take your time with it to even like stabilize things, to ground it down, even to make it tangible. It's like taking something in the ether with the cups and transforming it into something tangible with the pentacles, because that's like your material 3D reality. So even taking something from the direction of, or coming from the astral realm, and translating it in a way where it can even like be observed within your physical reality. What I'm seeing too is that there could have been something that you were doing before that wasn't working out, and rather than seeing this as like something that was meant to happen that wasn't working out, really pivoting when it comes to your perspective and being like, oh, that was an obvious, like that road was being cut off there so I could swerve and go over in this direction instead. And I'm seeing it be like, if you had gone down that road, what you were meant to do would not have come from it, and that's why your guides kind of like cross something off for you, so you would pivot and shift your direction and go to like where you were actually meant to go. But when you were traveling, you may not have realized this. However, in hindsight, it is something that one would recognize, because you could have even been moving like too quickly in a direction that would not have produced or benefited you in the way that this current direction would actually. But there may be something that's still carrying over from that. It feels like some sort of experience that maybe you're still adjusting to. It's even a moment where like Spirit has been watching you very closely, like Spirit has been guiding you very closely, and there could have been something that happened where you were like, Spirit wasn't clear about this, or like my guides didn't tell me what was going on. There's something about like even feeling a miscommunication or feeling disconnected or feeling confused, feeling like there's a lack of clarity, but within that moment being able to take that experience and rather than like pinging off of everything that you're feeling, to move to a space where it's like, okay, that's just going to be like that. Because I'm even seeing something where there's like a lack of closure or something's unresolved. Like right now, it's not going to make sense. And getting to that point where we're like, okay, for now, it's just not going to make sense and we need to accept that. And I'm seeing something here that you're making an active effort to ground, especially as far as what spirit is guiding you to do. And it may be something differently than you had initially anticipated. Because I'm seeing something here where, like, something is being forged, something is being created, and it's something that's also taking time, because I'm seeing this come up from the very center of you with what it is that you're giving. I'm seeing it's something that you may not have a whole lot of experience with, or maybe something that you're taking a chance on. Something that, like, you believe in, though. You believe in yourself, you believe in the creative energy that you are channeling with. I'm hearing marksmanship. It's like the more you believe in your manifestations, the more you believe that you are a creator, the more you believe in your power, the more you believe in yourself essentially as a magician, as the magician, the more you're going to be able to tap into this unadulterated energy within you that is like your pure divine feminine energy, and be able to create and make something with that. So it even seems like this is about getting online with like your Mercury and your Venus energy connecting and then doing something with it. It's interesting. I'm seeing one of those things that it spins around the picture and you pour paint on it and it makes it kind of splatter in a circle. There's like something about like the direction that things are going in and what you're adding to it and where it's going to go and this pattern that's being created. And I'm seeing something that it's like no matter what you add to it, it's all intertwined with one another. And there's even some sort of significant shape that's being created with it. However, like when you are taking these little pieces and putting them together, you may not see like how it is all going to end up being connected. Yet I'm seeing something that's all completely intertwined with one another. I'm hearing interstellar. So I'm seeing you step into a place where you're like, I'm not going to hold myself back. Like, this is how I want to express myself. It's taken me a while because it's like, first you needed to like really see yourself. There was some situation that needed to be accepted. Then it's like this whole process of needing to learn how to ground and what to do with that energy, and needing to cut out anything that was stopping you from even like realizing yourself. So this is that like separation between like even fantasy and reality, and how the two of those meet, and also what's allowing you to be productive within that space. Like what things are fantasies that are not going to materialize or be acted upon, and what of these dreams can we actually create with and bring into the 3D. And so I'm seeing you get connected with your mind, even in a way where you're being very patient with what it is that you're pulling up out from inside of you, and then how you're going about expressing that, and breaking this barrier of doing it in a way that feels creative and authentic and original to you is what even brings in something that you were meant to attract by what it is that you're giving out. So there's this whole like universal exchange that I'm seeing happening here. And now I'm looking at the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, and it looks even like there is this next part of the journey that is attached or going to be attached, but maybe hasn't completely connected yet. Because I'm even seeing like a port, and I'm seeing this ship that's going to be coming through and connecting, but like it hasn't made that connection yet. So something is going to be happening. And I'm seeing you have your eye on something specific, and I'm seeing this for sure be like a new chapter, a new segment that we're stepping into, a new cycle even. But I'm seeing you still be like stalled out in some sort of way. I don't think that this is on your end necessarily. I think this is about like on the universe's end, what's going to be connecting with you. So I'm looking at Taurus, Mercury, Uranus, Sagittarius, Neptune, and Venus. Let's see what else is going on here. Scorpio has been busy. Maybe this is about linking up with someone, because it seems... The way that the King of Cups and the King of Wands came out, it looks like two different aspects of you. Although this can definitely be two different people. But I saw it more so as you combining these two aspects of you. Like synthesizing it, even. Rather than two separate people. Although what's going on within our internal world is also, we also see that reflected as well within our external world, so. What it even looks like to me is that you may have been in a space where there's something about like a lack of faith, or maybe you weren't believing in yourself, or you weren't feeling good enough about something, or there was some sort of difficult circumstance that you were in. However, I'm seeing this very quickly switch out. So it's like we start off in the Five of Pentacles, but then like basically the complete opposite card pops out with the Nine of Pentacles, because the Five is like not feeling good about your situation, not feeling good about self, maybe struggling a bit. It's even a notion of being like, I'm not effective no matter what I do, like I can't make a difference, I'm just stuck within this situation. Like it's a sense even of learned helplessness. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, this is all about like you working hard and seeing like abundance come to fruition based off of the effort that you put in. So it's this very interesting turnaround energy that I see. And maybe this is even about you extricating yourself from the Five of Pentacles and transitioning into the Nine, where you're actually like believing in what you're doing, believing in the work that you're doing, believing that like you make a difference, that you do matter, that like what you're giving to the world matters, all of this stuff. And I'm seeing something that you could have been struggling with. This can even be something related to mental health. It can be a notion too where you had been doing things before and it hadn't been validated, and now you're even seeing something come from it. It's like you've been trying and trying and trying and you don't see like any sort of result, and then all of a sudden you see some like huge result. And maybe that was even a matter of you changing the way that you were seeing yourself, and maybe even the process that you were moving through. Because I'm seeing something that like has been quite a struggle, and then you come out in a place where you feel like you've succeeded in a very big way. It looks too like this could have also been about like taking the time to put in the work, like rather than doing something in a fast-paced way. It was about like making the effort and creating something more long-term for you. Something lasting. I'm seeing two people on a seesaw here. Yeah, whatever it was, I do get this feeling strongly. You may have been like going to certain people or like looking for validation in certain places where you actually weren't going to get it. And maybe this was also a sticking point for you, where it's like maybe even accepting that you're not going to get certain things like from certain places, from certain people. It can even be like a company or this or that, like a loan that you're applying to, whatever it was. You may have not like received something that you were looking for, and rather than internalizing that, it even looks like something that you are creating a barrier or boundary with to not slip back into. Because I'm even seeing this struggle that has happened where there's like some sort of like major even adversity that you have worked through and come out on top of, something that you've traversed, something that you've transcended because of what you've done, like based off of your independent action and what you have willed to happen. And I'm seeing there be this notion here of like, don't fight yourself on the things that are coming through. Like, allow success to like reveal itself to you, to prosper. Behind the actions that you're taking is what I'm hearing. So like maybe even the intention space that you're manifesting with. And I'm seeing there be this notion where it's like, don't get dragged back into something. Make sure that you're protecting yourself. Because there's even a notion here of like, I don't know who or what this is around you, but you don't want to be dragged back into a position where you were not feeling effective before. So whether this be like a place that you get to in your head, or this be something going on within the environment, it's about like not falling back into this state of conflict, whether this be with like somebody around you or just you with yourself here. And it's about like creating boundaries to protect yourself from that, and also to not be taking on so much that you even feel like you can't bear it and that everything's going to just drop out of your hands. And maybe that was something that you were doing before, like biting off more than you could chew and then being like, why is nothing working for me? And it's because you like weren't moving in the right way. Like you may have been trying to do too much rather than like taking your time and being like maybe more slow with something, but getting the result that you want. Maybe you were like cutting corners before, doing something too quickly, and then being like, why does this never work for me? But it was because the way that you were going about something, you weren't going about it in the right way. You weren't being strategic before. And that is what I was seeing, like, with the Knight of Wands. It's like maybe you were acting impulsively in some sort of way or wanting to rush through something, and that's why it wasn't working. Even something that felt easier, something that, like, you were succumbing to, but it was, like, a momentary pleasure, or something that was a momentary fix or instant gratification in some sort of way. So yeah, it looks to me like more than anything, the focus is like you've come out of a space that you do not want to go back into. So this is about like maintaining what it is that you've done right now. That's what the focus of this looks like to me. And I'm not looking at any major arcanas here. Alright, Scorpio, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Gabriella, for anybody new. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.